In this example, we're going to solve this two-step equation, and we see that it does contain some fractions, and I know the fractions sometimes scare students away, but no worries, this is actually going to go pretty smoothly. So if you'd like to try this problem, first go ahead and pause the video and do so, and then come on back and we'll work it together. So remember, in order to solve an equation, it means we're really trying to isolate this variable, k in our case. So it seems like I have 2/3 being multiplied by k, and from that I'm subtracting 4/5. So in an effort to get this k by itself, let's kind of focus on trying to get the 2/3 k by itself first. So I can do so by kind of dealing with this negative 4/5. And in order to get rid of this negative 4/5 from this left side, I'm going to do the inverse operation of subtraction, and I'm going to add 4/5 to both sides. And I'm doing so using the addition property of equality. So we see that those 4/5 will cancel from the left side, and I'll be left with just this 2/3 k, and that's a good thing. That's kind of what I was going for first. Okay. The right side, though, it looks like I have some fraction addition that I need to do. Okay, so we have 8/15 plus 4/5. So the common denominator, it appears, will be this 15 here. But that means I need to take this fraction of 4/5 and scale it so it has the same denominator. So 5 times 3 will give me that denominator. But of course, whatever I do to the bottom, I also need to do to the top. So I'll multiply by 3/3. And I'll see I have 2/3 k equals 8/15 plus 12/15, which just this right side will turn into 20/15. But of course, I can reduce that fraction by 5, so really I'll have 4/3 right there. Okay, so let's kind of rewrite everything. So 2/3 k equals 4/3. Okay, not too bad at all. So in order to get this k now all by itself, I see that it's being multiplied by 2/3. So really the inverse operation of multiplying by 2/3 would be dividing by 2/3. But remember, when we divide by a fraction, we're really multiplying by its reciprocal. So let's go ahead and multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this coefficient of k. So I'm going to be multiplying by 3/2 on both sides. So we'll notice on the left the 3's will cancel and the 2's will cancel, and I do have my k all by itself. All right, on the right side it looks like, well, these 3's can cancel, and between the 4 and the 2 I can factor a 2 out, so I'll have a 2 and a 1 respectively. So my finished multiplication looks like 2/1 times 1/1, which really is just 2 times 1. So I'm going to say that my value for k in this case is 2. So going back up to my original equation, if I said 2/3 times 2, I'd have 4/3, and from that subtract 4/5, and I would indeed have 8/15. So I know that this value for k is the solution for this initial two-step equation that included fractions.